And we are live on United Public Radio, 107.7 New Orleans, and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network. How cool is that? This is Father Shawn's Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Father Shawn Whittington. I'm an ordained Catholic priest with the United States Old Catholic Church. I'm a fully professed brother with the Old Catholic Benedictines of Immaculate Mary. I'm a team member with Society of St. Benedict, and I'm co-founder of GhostBeGone.biz. If there's anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. And if you go there to visit, there's a lot of cool things to see. Both my books are there, God, Ghost, and the Paranormal Ministry, and God, Ghost, and the Paranormal Ministry 2. And if you purchase the books off the website, they leave my office. So I autograph them and I enclose them in a beautiful house blessing kit. And if you can get them a little less expensive at Amazon, and they're also available in audio, which is very cool. But if you get them off the website, part of the proceeds of every sale of every copy of my books goes to support stjude.org and St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, Nevada. So that's a beautiful thing. You can also enroll in my online course on the website, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare. There is no other course like that out there that you can enroll in. It's a 12-week online college-level course. All my students that graduate get a stunning diploma, certificate of completion suited for framing, along with some other very special blessed gifts and items that you can only get from yours truly. So that's there. And of course, there's a place there where you can make an appointment to speak with me about your spiritual issues. Not paranormal, but spiritual. But most importantly, brothers and sisters, trust me, I know times are tough. But if you notice the donate button and you're able to do so, click on it and send my ministry in a small donation. I promise you it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. And trust me, we'll put it to good use. Okay, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So happy to be here. And God bless you all for tuning in because I don't have a show without you guys. So God bless you all for that. And another great thing I love about my Friday show is I have an awesome co host. So without further ado, she's a friend. I love her. I respect her. She's the owner of Stellium Books. She's my publisher and a paranormal enthusiast. Please welcome to the show, Annette Munich.
Hi, Shawn. Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here.
What are you doing today?
Everything.
You look very pretty today. I'm glad that you're
Thanks.
available to join me because I don't like doing the
Thank
show
you.
without you.
Thank you.
Just doesn't feel right to not have you here. I'm excited today too because this basically is someone you introduced to me. He was a big hit the first time he was on, an instant fan favorite. So I'm glad to have him back. Before we get to the prayer earners, are there any other announcements you'd like to make?
Well, I found out something today that I'm excited about, but I don't have an actual agreement in place. But looks like Kelly Schaefer, and you guys know that we just did a book with Kelly Schaefer in February.
Yeah.
So she's going to be writing a book with Rob Demarest from Ghost Hunters International. And so we're going to have that coming up, and that's going to be really cool.
Very, very cool. Congratulations. Give her my best. I've had her on the show too. I love Kelly.
Kelly's sweet.
She's a she's a handful.
Well, and her stories are really interesting. Her book is very good. So but we should be having her back on soon, aren't we? Or we'll find out.
I'm almost
We'll find out.
We will find out. And if not, I'll give her a call and get her back on here. I think the last couple of times I reached out to her, she's also so very busy. But I if I don't have her, we'll get her back because people have reached out to me inquiring about her return appearance. She was a big hit. So we will do that. But are you ready to do the prayer urn?
Yes, let's do the prayer urn.
It was full this week, so I didn't wait till today to reach in there and answer a lot of people's prayers. But
See, I'm good this week. I didn't get all excited and jump right to the guest and forget about everything, the prayer urn and everything along the way. I'm following the proper order of the.
Very cool. And I started doing, because that turned out to be a big hit, to pull the mailbag at the end of the show with the guest here, because sometimes these questions are right up their alley and in their, zone. So we'll do that.
Right.
But this prayer request is from Betty L. in Washington. Hi, Betty.
Hi, Betty.
I love that name. I don't meet enough Bettys. She says, I am a big believer in guardian angels. I am too. Mine has come to my rescue many times. People don't pray to their guardian angels enough. Could you please offer up a prayer to all guardian angels? That is a beautiful, beautiful request, Betty. I'm a big believer and supporter of guardian angels. I've seen mine twice. Both times she saved my life. Um, so, yes, that is a wonderful request. Let me find a good guardian angel prayer here. And I do pray to mine. And you know what? Let me tell you guys something. They're always there, they're assigned to you. You have to ask them for their help. You have to ask them to intercede in your life and intervene in what you need them to help you with right then. So you need to reach out to them and ask for their help. They're waiting for that, and they're there. All righty, here we go. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Dear angel, in his goodness, God gave you to me to guide, protect, and enlighten me, and to bring me back to the right when I go astray. Encourage me when I am disheartened, and instruct me when I err in judgment. Help me to become more Christ like, and so someday to be accepted into the company of angels and saints in heaven. Amen.
Amen.
I don't know if I've told you the story, and I'll make it quick, but like I said, both times I've seen my guardian angel. She helped me from drowning when I was a young boy out in the ocean. She
Wow.
appeared to me when I was fell asleep at the wheel and was almost about to drive off a cliff.
Oh
And
my
she
gosh.
appeared to me in my passenger seat and woke me up. So she looks like a very young Susan Sarandon from like Rocky original Rocky Horror Picture times, that age of her. Um, but the odd thing about it is I can't really make out gender. She just looks that way, but she may not be a she. She may be a he. And I don't even know if angels are he's and she's, but that's what she appears like to me. And so I'm a big believer in them. How about you?
I'm a very big believer in angels, and I've gotten a lot of help from angels, but I have not seen any. But some really interesting stories along the way of things that were highly unlikely without angels actually helping, and that includes guardian angels. And I say the like standard guardian angel prayer every night, but and I do Archangel Michael every day, but also other angels because angels really are like God's, intercessors and communicators, but you do have to ask.
Absolutely. Well said. Okay. Um, I'm going to bring him on because I can't wait to talk to him. He's so enjoyable to speak to. Brothers and sisters, I know this is why you all tuned in anyway. He was a big hit the first time he was here. He's got quite a following, many followers. Once I announced he was coming on today, have sent me questions for him. I don't know if we'll get to those. I'm going to let him talk about anything he wants to talk about because he's a master storyteller and an author and an artist and a gifted psychic. He's just a really cool dude. I know you guys are going to love him. Please give a big, warm Paranormal Ministry family welcome to the one and only Thomas Freese.
Yay! Hi, Thomas. I love
Hi.
your shirt.
My shirt.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's summertime, so you got to go with that cool attire, right?
right, right. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Thomas, every time I see you, I always consider to stop coloring my hair and my beard because you've got such a handsome head of white hair and a handsome white beard. I think the reason why I color mine is because I look ancient, and it's you're a very handsome man, but me, it's not a really good looking white like yours is. It's like a really old, dingy, gray thing going on that I'm just I'm just fighting doing that. But every time my wife sees someone like you, she goes, "Honey, I know you would look just like that. You should stop coloring your hair and your beard." So I may do that. Next time you see me, we may look like brothers.
Right. Instead of Luke being encouraged to go to the dark side, it's get encouraged to go to the. It's Gandalf the Grey, right? I mean,
That's right. And my wife always says, "Honey, you would also make a great Santa, so you'd have a gig every Christmas time." So there you go.
someone told me about those gigs, and I grew my beard longer, because you gotta look the part with this just kind of a regular sized beard, and but it looked more like a scraggly ZZ Top. And I was visiting my mom in St. Louis, and she was staring at me, and I said, "What are you doing, Mom? What are you looking at?" She says, "It's your beard." I said, "I've always had a beard." She goes, "Yes, but it was civilized."
Yeah, yeah. I've been there, done that. I've had the wife finally one day crack the whip and tell me I needed to do something with it, either get rid of it or trim it up. Because at one time I had the ZZ Top thing going, and it's a little crazy. It's a little crazy.
Well,
Well, brother, you know what? I'm going to let you and Annette chat. You
okay.
guys have we've got some pictures of pets. We can either get right into if you have anything, a story you would like to tell us, or anything you'd like to talk about. Um, I've been stalking you this past week. I saw some of the beautiful wood birds you've made and some of the beautiful wands you've made, and I love the whole talking about the tree spirits and anything you want to talk about. I'm cool with. I know we've got pictures of animals. You might do some animal readings. So I'm going to let you and Annette chat, and wherever it goes, brother. It's your show.
Thank you.
Well, I'm so excited to have you on again, Thomas. And, he's great because every now and then we get on the phone and we talk, and it can go from one topic all the way through the spectrum and just talk, about all sorts of things. So he's so well versed, and he has such a really interesting point of view and also background. And so we decided, let's give this a try because he said that he could do it. And I was like, I think people might like that a lot. So
Well,
we
you
did.
know, I'm going to. I promised I wasn't going to interrupt, but I am going to real quick. Um, before we get into whatever it is you guys are about to get off into, I just have this feeling I need to ask Thomas his take on guardian angels.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir. And I love stories from back in the 90s. Sophie Burnham wrote 3 books of True Angel Encounter stories. And I've got, stories, in my books of encounters, not only with ghosts, but spirits and angels. And to do a deep dive into the difference and tweak some of that would be great sometime. But I love angel stories, and I believe that I have at least one guardian angel. And a lot of times when someone sits down in front of me for an in-person reading at a metaphysical event, I oftentimes see over their left shoulder, who's with them in the spirit realm, whether it's a grandfather, a mom, a fairy figure, or sometimes it's an angelic presence. So I think there's layers and levels of angels that are available, to help us. I would suggest, if y'all, folks haven't got familiar with the Urantia book, that's spelled Urantia, and it's all online. It's called the Urantia book, and that's got some amazing stuff about angels. But when you started mentioning, being rescued by your guardian angel in the ocean, I recently heard a story of encounter with a guardian angel. But the fascinating thing about this one, the guardian angel was huge, and the scale, it's just really amazing to think about. So it's in, my friend Jeff shared this with me, and he does psychic fairs. He'd be a great, guest to be on your show sometime. I think you guys would be totally kindred spirits. But would you like me to read his story of his encounter?
Absolutely, sure.
Okay, I haven't memorized it yet in terms of like storytelling. Jeffrey Poe, Poe. Back in the summer of 1986, west of Indianapolis, Indiana, I was out for a drive with a new girlfriend. I was going to try to impress her with a trip to a haunted railroad bridge in a nearby town. The story was two workers fell into a concrete form while the rest of the crew was at lunch while building the bridge and short tunnel area. You could hear what sounded like screams from the tunnels and the sounds of a train coming through. There's a lot of stories related to bridges, in the ghost folklore. And then, the accidents, and workers, and here in Louisville, Kentucky, too, with the Ohio River, there was an accident. But anyway, back to Jeff's story. I had recently purchased an old sports car, 1972 Opel GT, with a way too big of a motor for the little car. It was a beautiful warm day, so we had the windows down and we were flying through the countryside at times over 100 miles per hour. As we were getting close to the bridge, there was a slight curve to the left and a short straightaway, then a sharp S turn. We made the slight curve to the right, then the sharp right into the S turn. As we began to turn back to the left, the back of the car began to slide to the left and came up off of the road at about a 60-degree angle. We were going so fast, I knew we would go into the side of the bridge, and I braced for the hit. It was as if time stopped as I looked out my side window and I could see ground, but also to my amazement, I saw a giant foot. The foot was as long as a school bus and was light brown and had what I say was a sandal on the bottom with one strap. I looked back at my girlfriend to see the panic in her eyes as she is seeing this as well. I now see past her out the passenger window to see fingers holding my car in the air and a white gown or light cloth on the arm area. The car gently landed back on the road in the center of the S turn with no harm to it or us. I jumped out of the car and there was nothing there. Nothing, in air quotes, right? We got back in the car and I took her home. We almost did not talk all the way home that day. I called her the next afternoon and took her out to lunch to get our facts together about this event. Basically they saw the same thing. And I just think that's so cool because, you have your putti, your little cute Italian, Cupid love angels. And then you have your like people-sized angels. You have your like, impressive like 8-footers. And then to know that when, we may be fortunate enough, to be rescued in some cases, your whatever you call them, masters of the universe size angels. I just think his story is so cool.
That is an awesome story, and I'll tell you what I love about that story is the hugeness of this angel. Like you said, who's to say how big or small they are? But it reminds me of a story my father told me when he was in World War II. His ship was sunk, and he spent, I want to say, from late afternoon to the following morning floating around out at sea, hanging onto a piece of wood. Didn't know if he was going to be saved, but then a ship did come to save whatever survivors were left. But he was too sick to get to the ship, and it was the motors were kicking in, and the ship was starting to get ready to take off. They didn't know that he was still in the water, and he found a piece of rope floating in the water that was attached to the ship, and he wrapped it all around himself and thought, they're going to drag me home dead, but I'm not going to be left here. And he actually felt himself starting to be pulled through the water, and he heard a voice say, "There's one more over the side." And he recalled a large, muscular man jumping over the side of the ship and hanging on with one arm, grabbed him by the scruff of the neck with the other arm, and just lifted him out of the water and tossed him onto
Wow.
the deck of the ship. And he said when he hit the deck, he passed out for probably 48 hours. And when he woke up, they had a little tent over him, and there were corpsmen taking care of him. And he wanted to thank this sailor for saving his life. Nobody on that ship recalled that incident. They said, well, one second my father wasn't there, the next second he appeared on on the deck. And he said, well, he described this large sailor to everybody. It fit no description of any sailor on that ship, and my father scoured that ship front to back, top to bottom, for days looking for this sailor to thank him, and he never found this sailor. So my father was convinced that it was a guardian angel, and I believe that too.
No doubt in my mind, and I think that's the beauty of the way the angels operate is they're so smooth, right? They're not like hanging around like, oh, viva yo, look at me, I helped you guys out. They don't stay around for a thank you. And I've got lots of stories in my books, and they're beautiful. The hallmark is the angel is just gone. When you would turn around and thank them, of course, he couldn't, do that in that moment. But they're not there for the thanks. It's just really beautiful stories. And yeah, if I know we want to save time for the tuning into the companion animals, but if there's another time and we want to focus on angel stories, they're just so encouraging, so inspirational. There's no guarantee, that you're going to get rescued every time. I mean, we do stupid things, and sometimes, we might have some karma. We just got to learn, or it's just your time, someone's time to go. But the angel stories are beautiful. Angels are real, and they're available to help us.
Tell you what, I'll go ahead and put your feet to the fire now and say, will you come back and we'll do one whole show just on angels?
You bet.
Okay. I will let you and I know you and Ed have some stuff planned, so I'm going to let you guys go at it.
I do. And before we start, I want to say hi to Camilla and Jackie and Siobhan. And those are some people that are listening and sending messages saying hello to us. I know all of us believe that there are spirits of animals because that's come across in conversations that I've had with both of you. And I did see my dog, one of my dogs that passed away. I saw her twice. And also last week on the show, we were talking about people seeing at that Fort Gibson here in Oklahoma, they see soldiers on ghost horses riding around. So there's ghost horses. So I don't know. There might be a lot of people that aren't really. Well, there's a lot of people that don't really believe in people ghosts, so they wouldn't believe in animal ghosts. But I absolutely believe that all of the different kinds of energies in the world continue. So, if you wanted to say something about that, about animals in the spirit world.
Well, I will real quick, and I'm going to let Thomas go for it. I'm going to interrupt again. Um, I used to give tours of a pet cemetery here in town for many years and
Oh,
encountered many, many spirit animals. Um, in fact, sometimes people would have these spirit animals, and I would meet them at the cemetery and have them bring their spirit animal so that they could come and find other friends and have a place to go so that they could be released from being attached to this person if it was tend to be bothering them, like this elderly woman who was taking care of an even older woman who lived in the neighborhood had this cat, and the woman died, and so she left the cat to this other lady. Then the cat got very sick, and the woman took her to the vet to have her euthanized because she was very, very ill and in a lot of pain. Well, the last thing the cat looked at as it was passing on was eye to eye contact with this woman. So the woman called me up and said, "This cat is now in my home. I hear it meowing, I hear it purring, I hear its feet running across the floor, jumping up on my dresser, then onto my bed, and I can see its little feet on the bedspread walking up to me, and it cuddles to me at night." But she said it's gotten to the point where now I want the cat to move on. And so I came up with the brilliant idea, meet me at the pet cemetery. And when the cat follows you out there, there's so many spirit animals out there, it'll be an easy transition. It didn't work. The lady said the cat was in the truck with her in the cemetery, back in the truck on the way home, and was still with her. So my plan didn't work, but I thought it was a good plan. But yeah, I know my animals are here in the home, many of them. So yeah, I'm a big believer in that.
Right. Who was that actor who played Snape?
Oh
He
yeah.
He was in a movie called Truly, Madly, Deeply. And it's a lovely movie where the husband passed away and the grieving wife, pines away for him. And finally he shows up. But basically his mission is to kind of be obnoxious enough in a way that she goes, finally, yeah, it's you died. It's time for you to go on. One of the oldest inscriptions from Mesopotamia, from whatever it was back in Iraq, from Sumer, 6,000-year-old inscription in clay tablet was a prayer or invocation to, basically help a family member, a loved one, their spirit, their ghost move along. Like, we love you, but guess what? You're on the other side now. So it can be the same with animals. And sometimes, like in that movie, What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams, it's our grief that kind of is a hook that keeps that loved one, that spirit, still hanging around when really it's time for them, to obviously to move on to the next thing. But it's amazing. People are really, really connected to their companion animals, whether it's a cat or a dog. Obviously, the animals themselves see spirits, so that's a whole nother story. And then they have a soul journey. And sometimes when I tune into people's companion animals, I see, their past lives and where they had past lives separately from the owner, or with the particular owner. And sometimes they're the same roles, where the human here was a human back in the past life, the dog here was a dog in the past life as well. So it's like a 3D chess game. It gets very layered. And I 3 weeks ago at a metaphysical event, I did readings for a lady. She brought her digital recorder. Her name's Angela, and she had me do readings for 6 of her pets, one of which was deceased. All of them were cats except for one dog. And we just traveled around time and space, and the connections were really amazing. So it's very layered. It's not just, oh, how are things going right now? And can we get, the dog to stop peeing on the sofa, which is, practical and important in itself. But also, why is this animal here? Where did they come from? Where's their soul journey? Where do they come from in the universe? What's the past life connection? So as Forrest Gump would say, you just never know what you're going to get when you do a reading tuning into people's animals.
Well, I know Annette sent some pictures to Michelle DeRoche, who is kind enough to be.
We do have some pictures, and we have Michelle saying hi, and we have another Jackie tuning in and saying hi. So
Hi,
and I
Jackie.
think the first 2 pictures are Jackie's cats.
Well, I will. There we go. Oh, I love a Russian blue. A Russian blue, I believe, right? Possibly.
This is Smokey, and Smokey is deceased. And the next picture, I guess we could look at both of them at first, is a white cat named Big Mo. And they both belong to Jackie, and they both passed away. And she's interested in any messages from them and wondering if cats reincarnate, if pets reincarnate. And I think you already said yes.
Right. So I know Jackie. She's amazing. She's worked in the metaphysical field for a long time, and she has some great stories herself that she could be a guest sometime. Hopefully, it'd be appropriate to mention that, because she shared those with me when I was asked to be a featured speaker at a metaphysical event in Alaska. So flew into Anchorage and had a great time. And then Jackie volunteered to drive me, because I was just, there at hotels all week, do readings out of the hotel room, the event and the weekend. And I was like, can someone just, before I fly away back to Kentucky, can someone just take me, out into the, somewhere out there, and see something. So Jackie was nice enough to volunteer, and she drove me to Girdwood, where she had a cabin. And as we're driving out there, she's telling me of UFO encounters in Alaska and Bigfoot sightings. So maybe, if Jackie would like to share, if she's shy about that, then I'll just, sometime I'll tell her stories, because they're in my books and amazing. So Smokey was the first one, and then this is Mo that we're looking at right now. So okay, I'll just start with Mo, but I have information on both Smokey, the first one, and on Mo. So Mo is a time traveler. And Mo is an adept and an advanced soul.
Wow.
And so Mo's been involved with human history for a very long time. Mo's also come from another planet. So there's a lot of stuff to say about Mo. Um, Mo is very much like Moses. And so Mo was in the royal court in Egypt at one point at the time when Moses was alive. And we know that the Egyptians revered cats and knew very much about their native wisdom and what they offered for spiritual protection. So Mo is a very, very powerful soul and has worked with humans for a long time. Specifically, the connection with Jackie for Mo is to kind of reboot her spiritual journey and to take it to a higher level. Mo also travels back in time and space to retroactively heal the timelines for Jackie and others. So Mo is currently doing this travel in terms of nonlinear, one-directional time. Mo is going back and doing healing work for Jackie and others, Jackie's own life, and for others. So Mo is very, very advanced, kind of this cosmic character. Now, switching to Smokey, the darker colored cat.
What interesting, beautiful eyes on Mo. They're just really so striking.
Yeah.
Yeah, the eyes are the window to the soul, and Mo is just a very, very high level. Smokey is a more personal connection to Jackie, where Smokey was a volunteer to come in and help Jackie at a bridging time, a time of challenges in her life, and it's a more of a personal, a healing thing. Not that the spiritual element isn't involved, but as Jackie went through some changes related to family challenges, in particular and coming out of the work that she had been doing as a massage therapist and moving into a little bit more freedom. This was a challenging time. Smokey was there as a ground. Smokey also helped repel unwanted energetic shadow visitors that could have taken her or her family, tempting them into overdepressive thoughts and into a kind of a rabbit hole of depression and manifestation of physical symptoms that would have been unpleasant and unfortunate. So Smokey helped manage that on an energetic level a whole lot.
Yeah, it's a beautiful cat. And what I'm finding interesting here was both these cats look identical to the two cats I had before the five I have now.
Wow.
Um, and my Russian blue was named Smokey,
Wow.
and the all white one was named Snowflake. And it's interesting how Smokey just, after many, many years of being here, just eventually disappeared one day. And we searched the whole neighborhood. We put pictures up. All our neighbors knew Smokey and loved Smokey, but nobody knew what happened to him. None of the neighbors, my wife and I. And then Snowflake got very, very ill, developed some type of brain tumor, and we had to take her into the animal hospital we work at and have her euthanized. But then now I got these five cats. The mother showed up with her whole litter and left them on our doorstep. So my wife brought home carriers for all of them, and we raised them all in our front yard, and they never left. So now I've got five cats. But I'm looking out my front window one morning. I'm all, Sharon, come here. Is that a kitten? There's this. I mean, the cat could fit in the palm of your hand, and the other cats were about a year old. But there was this little kitten you could fit in the palm of your hand, all white with just a black tail, one blue eye, one green eye, and it couldn't walk. So we nursed it back to being able to walk and stuff, and we brought another carrier home for it, and so now we have that cat here, and we call it Spirit because it seems to just one moment it's there, the next moment it's gone. It's just we never see it come or go. It's just in our tree, in our roof, at our feet, over there. Just, but we never see it moving around, so it's just interesting. But that's my story now with the cats. I love. I'm not a cat guy. I'm a dog guy. Um, how I ended up with all. There's a reason for everything. I just go with it. But
The,
there's a
the
reason
cats
why.
didn't get the memo that you're a dog guy, Shawn.
I think it's beautiful because we say, "Oh, gosh, I rescued that cat," but it's actually a lot of times it's the opposite that's actually happening, where they're rescuing us, they're helping us get in touch with our softer side, with our feminine side, for guys, with the need to self-nurture. You take a look at all the animal-assisted pet therapy that's going on. They're bringing well, even the horses, into nursing homes and, but, certainly canine assisted, canine companions, you go on and on and on. People's connection to service dogs, that guy that fought in, Iraq or Afghanistan and his amazing, German Shepherd, or whatever. And those linkages sometimes continue. I encountered a guy in a walk in the park in Louisville, and I said, "Where's your little buddy? Where's your dog?" And he was so sad. He said, "It died." I said, "Well, I do this other work, that I don't tell people a lot about, this psychic reading." And I said, "If I catch you again sometime and you've got a picture, I'll tune in and see what's going on and, where he's at and everything." So I saw him another time at the park. He said, "Come back to me." He had a little red pickup truck. In the back of the truck, he got out we're hanging out there. He got out the picture of his dog. And I immediately said, "You guys were in World War One, and you were a human. You were, with the Allied side, and you had a service dog, a military dog." And I said, "It literally took a bullet for you." And his eyes got big, and he said, "You just finish what you're gonna say, and then I want to tell you something." So I talked a little bit more, and then he said, "When I found this dog, it had a bullet in it,
Oh, wow.
and I rescued it." So there's these bookends.
Oh, we lost him. Maybe he'll come back. That's an incredible story.
That's an incredible story, and I want to say hi to Leslie and James. And James is sending us good vibes from
Where
Havana, Cuba.
where is Thomas? Is he in? I think he's in
He's by
Kentucky, right?
Louisville, yeah.
They may be having bad weather there. I know today it's like really unusually windy here, and I was almost concerned because we had
It was
momentarily
windy
lost power
too.
here, and I was almost concerned that maybe I would get lost and not be able to do the show today. But so far, it's hanging in there. I'm confident we'll get him back, but he may be having some bad weather. But that story is incredible, and it always reminds me. I don't know if it makes a difference that I have the ashes to at least a half a dozen or more of my pets here in the home, and maybe that contributes a little bit to it. But we hear them, and it could be. I'm going to go ahead and say that maybe it's the whole grieving thing.
Okay,
That
I'm back.
maybe. Oh, yay! There he is.
He found his way back from the ether.
I think I moved my hands right when I was doing the Italian,
We
trying to talk with my hands moving. I guess it didn't like that.
thought
So,
That's an
maybe he
incredible
had
story.
some
The
bad
dog with the
weather
bullet.
or something.
How did the
so
dog get shot? Did he know?
um, it was um, it was in the trenches of Europe. I get that it was like Belgium, and he was with the American forces, and it was like that. The I don't know the dog breeds that black German Shepherd version. It's a Belgian memoir. Well, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it was that black German Shepherd. That's what I saw, and it was just a lot of ground fire going on, a lot of individual rifles and machine gun, and he was out of the trenches, and the dog was very protective. Um, so in this lifetime, then the man, the version of the dog that he got, someone had shot it. He rescued it. It was in the south end of Louisville. And nobody was taking responsibility for the dog, and he just brought it home and got it taken care of. But I know some people that say, if they don't have dogs in heaven, I don't want to go. And the bond that people have with their companion animals is so incredibly strong. Some people will trust a dog or their cat more than they will a human, or that lady loves her critters more than her own husband. But uh, I just think it's beautiful, and that synchronicity, that reciprocal synchronicity, we're like, who's rescuing who?
I think Annette sent you some more pictures, didn't she?
Oh, great. Okay.
I think
I
there's
saw
one.
Gomez. Do you want to talk about Gomez?
Yeah, tell me about, you know what? I didn't even put Gomez in the bunch. She's just my buddy.
Okay.
But yeah, what did you get about Gomez? Gomez is interesting. He kind of appeared on the property one day, and um
I don't know if I
yes,
can.
yeah. He's part Great Pyrenees and part Saint Bernard. And
That's a
he,
big dog.
if you'll pet him, he'll just stand there forever and
Okay.
ever. He won't stop. And I gotta say, Grandma's gotta do something.
So you mentioned he's an attention hound,
He's an
as you were just
attention
talking
hound.
about. There's a reason for it. He has PTSD from a past life.
Okay.
Oh.
So as you can imagine, with humans,
Abuse because he's a little skittishy like that, a little
well,
hold himself back.
speaking of war zones, he was in war zones. He served human masters for multiple lifetimes and volunteered when they most needed companionship.
Aww.
And the people that he was attached to were not in the military, but they were civilians when war came through and just ravaged the countryside. And so you can imagine the effect on people in a war zone. You know, we have wars going on now on the planet, and it's incredibly terrible. And then it blasts through the environment. The trees get destroyed, the grass, the environment, the water gets, you know, fouled, and then the energies, and so that affects all the animals, the wild animals in the
Sure.
area, the companion animals, the
Sure.
farm animals. And so Gomez has been done through a tour of duty multiple times in military conflict areas, and this is going back to the 1700s in Europe and the British Isles in particular. And so he wanted a lifetime where it's like, hey guys, okay, I did all that and I did it willingly, but now I'd like some TLC, I'd like some love. So he's just going to soak up an infinite amount, because literally, like many humans that have PTSD from past lives, I meet children. When I was a counselor in the Catholic schools for 4 years, these are kindergartners, and they had trauma. They very clearly had PTSD, and it didn't come from this lifetime. They grew up with a nice family, middle class, and there was nothing bad that happened in this lifetime. So you have to go farther back. It's true for people. It's also true for animals. So there's animals that are trying to recover from trauma, and many times from serving us humans. So that's what's going on with Gomez.
He'll just stand there forever, and I'll just pet him. And then when I try to stop petting him, he sticks his whole head under my arm, and he's just like, I just want to stay here. I just want to stay here. It's like, it's really funny. I mean, because I can stop and go do something else, and a little while later, here he comes. Let's, start all over again. Let's take it from the top. And he is really just so lovable and just loves to be hugged and held.
And there again, who's rescuing who? It
Right.
just goes together. It's beautiful.
Let's move on to Belly. Belly is a cat. Belly is alive.
I I sent a Facebook message. I didn't know if she had a picture with
I
a
tried
belly
to. I asked her
looking at the
too because
camera.
that's my granddaughter. And I sent her a message to see if she had a picture of him with eyes open, or it could be a her. I'm not sure.
Okay, okay,
Um,
I'll do my best. I'll just work with this, and I'll just do my best. Just give me one moment. How long have they had belly?
I am not sure, but probably only a few months. I would think. I could be wrong.
I feel like belly is not always here all the time. That belly slips off into the astral realm a lot. And it might be that belly is actually operating more than one physical vehicle. Just like some people are operating more than one person in like at the same time. There's an overlap with. So I was told that there's Thomas, but that I'm also operating another physical vehicle, another person at the same time period. So I feel like Belly is like kind of semi-grounded because um, Belly's also operating another cat in another location. So sometimes that happens with humans, and occasionally I encounter it with an animal. And obviously, you have to be kind of tuned in, or you might say spiritually advanced, maybe to pull that off. Or I don't know, how to describe it exactly. But I feel like Billy is sensitive and sensitive to spirits, and so I think it's just an opportunity to find a family now, to find a grounding, and we'll just see how that works out.
Nice. Sounds a little bit like Shawn's cat spirit. Just all of a sudden they're there. All of a sudden, just some animals seem like that. You don't see them really come and you don't see them really leave. They're just
And
And Spirit acts like it's funny, acts like a dog. I was here. I am the dog person, wondering, what am I going to do with all these cats? Well, I'll just take care of them. And then this cat shows up that I have to take care of. Now he's the biggest of them all, and he acts like a dog. You know, it's just incredible. So now I guess I'm a cat guy.
so, oh, I'm sorry. That brings up something, about transmigration. Where a human could come from the animal world. I mean, an animal could come from the animal world and become a human. Transmigration, reincarnation, where you change species. So, sometimes that happens where your a particular cat was a dog in a past life, and then they're becoming a cat. So you're bringing, some of the attributes, just like, human having had a bunch of female past lives, or vice versa, and then becoming a male, or vice versa. So, but I just wanted to mention also, Jackie had another cat besides Smokey and Mo, and this is a cat that she's considering. Um, so she's wondering if she currently has a Maine Coon cat called Gypsy. And when Jackie visited here in Louisville, I met Gypsy in person. But anyway, I just want to mention about this particular cat that I just showed you the picture of, and back to Jackie, is that this cat is coming from a wild cat lifetime. So not a domesticated. This cat that Jackie's considering has never been a companion animal cat. It's coming from the wild cat kingdom, and it's also coming from the other side of the planet, from Afghanistan. And when I was tuning into this before our program started, it's very tricky. The Ascended Masters here for our planet are noting that we keep having conflict between West and East, United States, and we're fighting, and it's Iran, and it's the Middle East, and it's like these two worldviews keep clashing. And one way they're trying to soften that separation between the West and the East is they're bringing in companion animals to your households that are coming from the other side of the planet. So they have the energy of the Middle East, they have the energy of Afghanistan, of Iran, and so on. And the cat that Jackie is considering is a wild cat. So that's a big jump. Wild cat to domesticated cat. And the second thing, that it's coming with the energy of the East, the Middle East, and not with the West. And so the Ascended Masters are kind of like sneaky and slyly trying to get and soften up this dichotomy, like the quotes of Rumi, trying to soften up these divisions that we see between the West and the East. That's a whole nother topic, but I just wanted to mention that other cat really quick, and because it does bring in a bigger timeline and a bigger spiritual issue than just, a nice little kitty cat that's going to sit in our lap.
Absolutely, that's wonderful. Are you which side do you happen to lean more for, Thomas? Are you more of a cat guy or more of a dog guy?
I travel so much and I live alone. I can't have a critter. I say I
Oh,
audit other people's pets, but I've had really nice experiences visiting family and friends. And, the cats just jump in my lap. The dogs are just like, oh man, I love you. And so I have had some special animals in my past, but it just hasn't worked out being single and traveling a lot. It's just not so practical, and I'm not so good with messes, like stepping on cat poop at 5 in the morning. And I don't have, a partner to say, oh my God, would you please take care of that today? But I love animals and critters, and I just, I'll go visit a friend, and I'll just either one's fine. They're all good.
Very, very cool. All right, I see another one ready to come up here. Looks like a little puppy. Aw.
Oh my God.
That's Diesel. He died last year. He's my dog.
Oh, that's right. I'm
What's the
sorry.
name?
Diesel. Like,
Diesel.
yeah,
And
and
he's
I
passed
would, yeah, I
away.
would crochet, and when I'd leave the room, he'd go lay on the blanket I was making, because he thought it was his.
This was your dog, Annette?
Yeah.
How long did you have Diesel?
About 3 years, and he got sick and suddenly died.
How many years?
About 3.
3 years. Okay. What were the years, the calendar years?
He just died last year.
Okay. I feel like in terms of that reflectivity of who's rescuing who, um, that Diesel came into your life to help open up your heart to the changes in your life now. And it's related to the heart and compassion and healing for yourself, Annette, and in opening up to take care of Diesel and let Diesel into your life. So he volunteered to help with that for you. I feel like he's not far away. His energy is still around you. Um, I don't know if he's in a rush to come back or anything like that, but I feel like he's almost like a guardian angel. If you want to kind of talk to the air, to talk to his picture and talk to him, and engage in a conversation. Do you have any specific questions related to Diesel?
Well, I have a lot of guilt about it because a couple of times he seemed kind of sick, and then he would seem better. And then it was the 4th of July and he was acting funny. And I thought that it was the fireworks because he really didn't like the fireworks. And then one night he just came over and laid down on my foot, and he was panting and he threw up, and I knew he was going to die. I just knew it right then and there. I'm like, oh my God, he's dying. And I woke up everybody in the house, and I'm like, Diesel's dying. And
I Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm not seeing him holding any resentment or attitude about the way he passed at all. And I think a lot of times we humans hold on to that guilt, whether it's a person that passed or a companion animal, particularly with animals. If you ever get a chance to read the book, Animals Are Returned to Wholeness by the animal communicator in California, Penelope Smith, she says, she tunes into them all the time. She says they're just off to the next thing. They're not worried at all about how they passed.
I just, because of the fireworks, I thought it was getting to him, and he was panting and worked up. And I never suspected he was so sick that he could just die, because he would be with me throughout my day, walking around and playing, and he'd seem a little sick and then he'd seem better. Um, and he liked to sleep with me. He took his half of the bed out of the middle. The whole middle belonged to him no matter what, but he was a good boy. He was a real good boy.
I
I
feel like
hard.
Yeah, I feel like you've had a past life with Diesel. Do you want me to tune into that?
Sure.
So I'm going to England. I believe that you are like a high society woman. This was, I would say, the mid to the later 1800s, um, and Diesel appears more like a whippet, almost like a status dog, for Victorian England kind of thing. And so you guys had some lovely times together. You had plenty of finances because of your husband's successful business and investments. And actually, what's ironic is a parallel to this lifetime, you very much supported the spiritualist movement of the 1800s that was burgeoning in England at the time, and you supported financially and arranged seances and meetings, and you did a lot to advance metaphysical studies at the time. And that was the main lifetime where the dog that he was then as a whippet was more committed to you. This was just almost like a little add-on thing that he decided to come in. And like I said, it's all about opening up your heart to compassion and the changes that are emblematic of what's happening in your life in the last 3 to 5 years, and that he was helping to support that.
Aww.
Thomas, my least favorite time of the show has arrived. I gotta say goodbye to you.
It's time.
That flew by.
I can't wait till we have you back because I'm gonna make a note after I kick you out of here. I'm gonna make a note that I want to talk to you more about. I want to do another episode on animal readings, and then I would like to do an episode with you on angels. But I love you and respect you, brother. I just wanted you to know that. I want to give everybody a quick shout out of your website before I got to kick you out of here. www.thomaslfreeze, all one word.com. Check him out there. His books are there. Events he's going to are there. But thank you so much, brother, for being here. I want you to have a wonderful remainder of your Friday.
Thank
Great
you.
weekend, and I'll be in touch.
My pleasure. Thanks, you
You are
guys. Thanks
so
so much.
awesome.
All
Thank
right,
you.
brother. Take care.
Adios, amigos.
Bye bye. Wow, that time flew.
Didn't it? It was just crazy. And I still
I'm,
had, we still had more, but we'll see.
we'll pick up where we left off next time. I'm
Yeah.
glad you were able to hang in there. I was almost regretting that I had sent you a couple of pictures of me with my dogs because I'm not over that yet. There's still a lot of hurt there, and I was wondering how I was going to react once I saw the pictures up on screen. So maybe I'll be more ready for that next time. But
Yeah, because I
you did
felt
a
very emotional with that.
yeah.
That really just,
Hang in there. Next week is the Happy Medium. Susan Ahern from Cape Cod will be here.
awesome.
Thank you for being here, sweetie. You did a lot of hard work today for this week's show. Have a great Friday, a great weekend, and I'll see you next week.
I will see you next week and I look forward to it, and great show. Thanks everyone for listening.
I'll see you later, Annette. That was a great show, guys. Tune in next time when he's here because Thomas Freese, very cool dude. But I also want to get into not only angels, more animal readings, but we'll get into a lot of the crafts that he does. Like I said, next week, the 30th, will be Susan Ahern, the happy medium. I don't know if she'll be doing readings or not. I'll talk about that in promoting the show, but that'll be here next week. Again, thank you to United Public Radio 107.7 FM, New Orleans, and UFO Paranormal Radio Network for picking up the show. And God bless Michelle DeRoche for making that all happen. And God bless you all for tuning in. Like I said, I don't have a show without you guys. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned because coming up next is Spirit Switchboard with Carrie Lynn Shellhorn. That's a great show. And sponsors. If you want me to give you or your brand or your product a shout out live on air during the show, reach out to us. We take sponsors. Remember, guys, we may have done what the devil said we did, but we are not who the devil says we are. Good night, Danny. Good night, Jack. Good night, Dog. Good night, Harold. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. I love you all. God bless you all in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Peace.